Welcome to this explainer. I am so pumped to have you here today. Look, if you're a focused learner just trying to cut through all the crazy noise of tech keynotes, you are exactly in the right place. Today, we're breaking down Apple's massive WWDC 2026 announcement. We've designed this specifically for everyday iPhone users to explore what it actually means to finally let your phone do your busy work for you. We're going to look at the huge transition to iOS 27 and what it means to get true, actual artificial intelligence right on your Apple devices.
Okay, let's dive into this because we really have to acknowledge the elephant in the room right off the bat. For over a year now, Android users have been walking around with Google's Gemini AI baked right into their phones, happily summarizing emails and automating all sorts of tasks. Meanwhile, iPhone users have just been stuck waiting. We've dealt with years of false starts and a basic voice assistant whose absolute favorite phrase was always, "Here's what I found on the web." You know the one. The frustration has been totally valid. But I'm happy to say that wait is officially over.
Apple's answer to this is called Siri AI, and I really want to be clear right up front, this is not just some minor software update. It is a completely, entirely rebuilt digital assistant. Apple essentially realized they needed a massive leap forward, so they embarked on this deep collaboration, which has reportedly worked around $1 billion a year, by the way, to give Siri a custom Google Gemini brain. We are talking about a 1.2 trillion parameter engine, but it's wrapped entirely inside Apple's famous privacy-first architecture and deep iOS integration.
So let's jump right into Section 1, 5 brand new features.
Feature number 1 is on-screen awareness, and let me tell you, this is an absolute game changer for daily use. Siri AI can now actually see what is currently on your screen, so you can open literally any website, document, or email and just naturally say, "Siri, summarize this page." It instantly reads the full page and generates a summary right there. No more highlighting, copying, swiping over to a separate app, and pasting. It just works right on top of whatever you're already looking at.
And this brilliantly illustrates our next point, which is app context. Siri AI doesn't just look out at the web, it actually securely pulls unstructured information from inside your own personal apps. So say you ask, "Hey, what was the name of that dessert my friend texted me about last week?" Siri will dig right through your messages history, find that specific conversation, and pull the exact answer for you. It can even cross-reference that information with your photos and calendar. It's like having a personal assistant who actually remembers everything.
Feature 3 is where it really starts to feel like absolute magic. System-wide app actions. Siri AI doesn't just answer your questions anymore, it can actually do things for you across multiple different apps in a single breath. Imagine you get an email from your dentist with some upcoming availability. You can literally tell Siri to book that dentist appointment from my email into my calendar, and it does it. It parses the email, opens your calendar, and creates the event automatically.
Moving on, Feature 4 introduces a brand new interface, the dedicated Siri AI app. Just by swiping down from the dynamic island, Siri expands into a full, proper chatbot experience. It remembers your conversational history, kind of like ChatGPT does, but it's built completely natively into iOS 27. And even better, this history syncs completely privately across your iPhone, iPad, and Mac via iCloud. So you could start a train of thought on your laptop and seamlessly finish it on your phone while you're walking out the door.
Finally, Feature 5, Privacy by Design. Now, you might be wondering, hold on, if Google Gemini is powering the complex stuff, what happens to my data? Well, Apple engineered this 3-tier architecture using something called private cloud compute. Basically, most things happen right there on your physical device. But when Siri needs to send a heavier, complex request up to the cloud, Apple's systems actively strip away all your personal identifying data before it ever reaches the Gemini model. Nothing is permanently saved, and absolutely nothing is used to train future AI models.
All right, let's move into Section 2 for a quick demo, PDF to calendar.
Let's move to and see how this builds into a real-world workflow. Imagine you get an email with a super dense PDF attachment, like, say, a huge school syllabus or a complicated project timeline. Step 1, you just open that PDF on your screen. Step 2, you hold the side button and just say, "Summarize this document and add the key dates to my calendar." Because of that on-screen awareness and app actions we just talked about, Step 3 just happens automatically. Siri pulls all the dates out and creates the calendar events for you.
Just look at the ultimate outcome for the user here. The old way, that required you to open the email, read through the PDF, switch over to your calendar app, manually type in the dates, switch back to check the times. It was a whole 3-app, 5-minute chore, right? With Siri AI, the whole shebang is contained to one app, and it takes about 10 seconds using a single voice command. That is the true power of deep system integration.
Let's shift gears to Section 3, the honest verdict
Integration versus power.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the major architectural compromise Apple had to make to pull this off. On the left side, we have this incredible deep app integration, but on the right, we see the cost of that: no persistent memory. Because Apple is so incredibly committed to your privacy, their private cloud compute uses what's called a stateless architecture. What that actually means is the very second your question is answered, your data is completely discarded, tossed out. Consequently, Siri AI cannot build a persistent memory profile of your habits and preferences over time the way a standalone app like ChatGPT can. It's basically the ultimate trade-off between total privacy and proactive power.
So, what do you need to run this? Let's look at Section 4, the official upgrade guide. If we look at the upgrade matrix here, it is brutally clear. To get Siri AI on a phone, you absolutely must have an iPhone 15 Pro, an iPhone 15 Pro Max, or the brand new iPhone 16 series. If you happen to have the standard base model iPhone 15, the iPhone SE from 2022, or anything older than that, you are unfortunately completely left behind. For computers and tablets, you're going to need an M1 chip or newer. Older Intel Macs and older iPads simply will not run this technology.
And actually, beyond just the hardware, there are some pretty strict geopolitical and regional barriers to keep in mind. Siri AI is going to launch in US English first, rolling out in fall 2026. However, if you're living in the European Union, the iOS release is indefinitely delayed. This is basically due to regulatory friction with the Digital Markets Act. Regulators want Apple to give third-party assistants the exact same deep access to user data that Siri has, which Apple argues is a massive security risk. Furthermore, the release in China is also delayed right now pending local regulatory review.
So, the crucial point is, we're looking at a truly revolutionary leap in digital assistance here, but it's bound by strict hardware limits, geographical regulations, and a very intentional trade-off that prioritizes your privacy over a long-term AI memory. It literally condenses daily chores into seconds, but only if you have the right device in the right country. Which leaves us with the ultimate question as we wrap up this explainer. Knowing exactly what Siri AI can and cannot do, is it finally worth the cost of a major hardware upgrade? Well, I'll let you be the judge of that. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next one.